Hey y'all, how's it going? So it's Good Friday today, so there's no trading. So I'm looking at this chart from the 21st of last month, looking at the platinum futures. This is just a random day. So we have the overnight highs here, overnight lows here. Now, 8 o'clock is around this area here when I would start trading. So you would have all this price action up to this point to do analysis on. And we start off, we have this push up here, we have this push up, break, we push up to a new high. So you have this first leg up, break, second leg up. There's really no clear entry here. You get this break, and it's just been going sideways. You're ending directly into this high, this range right here on this green bar here. You don't want to enter on that. Right into that range high right there. So we push up, we break out of the overnight high, and then as soon as we break out, we fade. So 2 legs up out of the overnight high, and we immediately fade back down. So price action levels get bigger as more time goes on, as the day progresses. And so the first level we'd see here is, this to the tick, failed second entry. First entry long, second entry long, failure. Right after those 2 legs up, fading back down. So you have a pretty strong push back into the overnight high, and so you can expect a possible second measured leg down here. So you can easily go for 1 to 2 on this right here. And it's not like that's a very strong range right here. It's basically just chopping through the EMA, and there's no defined lows or anything. And you can still see what price is doing here. It's making those 2 attempts higher. And so you push lower, you get that second leg down here, pushing back in. Now, on a bigger picture, this is really just 1 leg higher here. And so you can view this whole leg up here, this uptrend break, new high, as 1 leg higher. And then you can see break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher. So on a bigger picture, these 2 legs here become 1 leg. And then you can clearly see push up, we have a more significant break here. I'll draw this up here like this for a visual here. So we push up, break, first attempt higher, second attempt higher. It's clearly trying to make a new high for this move up, and then we fail. And so this right here, you can go short right here because also it's a failed second entry on the other count side. So first entry long, second entry long, failure. But the most important thing is this up move has a break, and then it's the second attempt at making a new high, holding below the EMA here. This looks like a good trade. And so also you would have this downtrend forming here, and then when it breaks and starts pushing lower, you could move your highs to up there and then adjust the lows, and then you could actually adjust your target according to where the low is for this downtrend. And even though the target looks like it's through this downtrend low here, as more bars form, it keeps going sideways, and you're able to actually get your target filled without it actually having to push through these lows here. So we continue down, we overshoot. So this downtrend has an overshoot. We could go into this other one as soon as we start, continuing this overshoot. We can look for another downtrend here. And so we're not quite reaching the EMA here on these corrections, so you don't want to enter on these. Even here, we don't reach it. We just push on lower here, and then we start going pretty congestive right here. It just starts going sideways. It's going up, so you can start drawing this uptrend as soon as you get, this push higher here. Really, that's when you really start to see it. We push up here, we start going higher. It's pretty choppy uptrend. There's nothing to take. There's no good signal bars. There's no good signal bar here, and this is a really small, signal bar that closed right in the middle after a huge push down. There's no way I'm going to enter on that. But we overshoot here. So this uptrend here, we overshoot. We attempt to retest it here. We have a couple attempts lower. We push off the overnight low here, and we still can't reach the EMA here, which is telling me that this overnight low is actually not very strong. And so, because even though it pushed right off of it, it still wasn't able to generate a very big move. It immediately reversed before reaching the EMA here. So we push up higher here. There's really no entries. You don't want to go short off of this. It's just a push higher, and it clearly didn't hold very well on this push right here. We have a break, second leg up. You can see those 2 legs up there, and then we immediately reverse back down. The EMA holds. You get this green bar. It doesn't trigger till over here, but that's just a first entry. There's no way you'd want to take that. And at this point, you can clearly tell it's going sideways here. So let me just get this range drawn so you can adjust the highs as more time goes on. So clearly we're going sideways here. We break out here. If you get the high there, we break out here. We push back lower. We get another breakout. And you can adjust the highs there. So let me adjust these highs here. We're clearly in this range. The EMA is holding. So when the EMA is holding like this, but there's no good long entries and there's no good short entries, it's best to just sit on your hands. When it's tempting to go long because of the EMA holding, and it's also tempting to go short because of this resistance up here starting to form, it's best to just avoid it. When it looks tempting to go long and short at the same time, you really want to avoid it. So we extend this range here. We push lower, we just shoot straight through the EMA here. We start chopping through it. The EMA starts pointing down. We chop through it once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. So at this point, the EMA is pretty weakened at this point, and you can clearly see here, first entry long, second entry long, failure. So you have this failed second entry long here, which is to go short because it's a long failure. It's holding off the overnight low. The EMA has been weakened because it's been going straight through it, which means I don't mind entering into it. And it's pointing down at this point right here. You would just want to get out before these lows right here, which, let me get those exact right there. So yeah, to me this looks like a good trade for the reasons described. Let me get that stop perfect really quick. So you might want to do 1.8. This is 2R right here. I don't mind pushing it out a little bit, but if you do want to get out before the low, you can just lower your target a little bit. So we push straight out of here. Very strong push out. We clearly rejected this overnight level. At first it was looking like it might fade because it was pushing through it. EMA was holding, but then it did win out after we had this strong push lower here. And so we push out from that failed second entry. At this point we can look for an even bigger pattern in play here. So let me extend this downtrend here. So we have this possibility right here. Oh, whoops. Where was I? Oh, there it is. So we push out, we correct here, we don't reach the EMA here, there's no way to enter on that, and then here, we just push lower, and then we correct again, we get through the EMA, we push back lower, we get the second push higher. You don't want to go short when it pushes straight through the EMA like that. And then at this point, you would have this range drawn at this point. So you have this range drawn here, a couple legs up, break out of this high right here, and it doesn't hold very well, but it does close back in it here, and it's clearly after these 2 legs up, and that, to me, that looks like a measured move right there. Just let me get that. So measured move met. As soon as it ticked higher than that green bar, it immediately closed back below. You have a very strong bearish bias at this point. It rejected the overnight low here. So to me, this looks like a good trade. You would just want to get out before these lows right here. And since you had this breakout here, and then you also had this another small breakout here, I would be willing to push it down to that second breakout right there, your target. So let me adjust the risk to reward just to show a good visual here. So this is this is 1.5R right here. So you would do it a little bit less than 1.5R. So about 15 ticks if you wanted to stay completely in. I don't mind pushing it a couple ticks out for like a good RR, like 1.5. But anyway, we push straight through here. We correct again. We touch the EMA. No good signal bar. It's really just sideways. You can clearly see we're in this range right here, forming another range right here. So we push lower here. There's no way to get in on this. And then we correct here. We don't reach the EMA. We push lower. We correct again. At this point, that's really just a first entry because you reset at this point. It's just sideways. That's just a first entry right there. And we continue sideways. It's just choppy. Notice we have this push higher here, break, second push higher. Let me get this range drawn out really quick. So you have this range here. You have this push out, break, second push higher, and then you trap down. This is a pretty choppy trade right here. I see why someone would want to take it because it's a breakout of this range right here, but that's just way too choppy for me. This lower high almost looks good. If it had closed below, I would have liked this because it would have been, confirming that it is in fact staying. What I'd be afraid of happening is this getting so choppy that it acts as its own range right here, and then, possibly getting a breakout failure of this, and then, whenever there's a range and then another range on top of it, it can cause problems like that. But if we had a significant push lower here on this lower high, then I absolutely would be willing to enter on this and ride it to these lows down here. But it just closes above the EMA, unfortunately, so no way to take that. And then here we just push higher. We blast straight through this resistance right here, this uptrend highs right here. It acts like it's not even there. We push higher. We start going sideways here. We don't reach the EMA. There's no way to get in on that. See these couple legs higher here? On a big picture, that's just one leg higher, and then you have this clear two-legged break right here. So here, you don't want to enter long here. It's not off of anything right here. You can see that it's making a double bottom with this low right here, but that's a double bottom is not significant enough to enter. But then here, you're actually making a triple bottom. So it's clear it's starting to form a range at this point, and the EMA is right in the middle of this. So you can look for something here. Let me see if there's STT in it. So at first, on this initial push down here, you'd see it as a break, a downtrend break, pushes to a new low. It's clearly two legs back. It's making that third bounce right here. And then even when you extend the STT, there's no STT. And it's straight through the EMA right here. Now, considering how bearish it was, you would want to be worried about entering long. However, this trend didn't hold very well. I mean, you do have these, 1, 2, 3. On a big picture, I mean, you zoom out, that's really just one hold on a big picture right here. And then even if you do consider this as a, full confirmed trend, you do still have these two attempts lower right here, clearly unable to break this level right here as a triple bottom right there. It's chopping straight through the EMA, so I do like this trade right here to go long right here, so I'll draw it out very quickly. So I don't care to push it all the way to the highs. I just like 1 to 2. This looks like a good 1 to 2 trade right here. Which, speaking of that, I wish there was more 1 to 2 entries on the ES lately. It just feels more scarce lately. Hopefully it starts picking up soon on the ES, but anyway, that's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching. I just wanted to make this video because there's not going to be any ES video today. So anyway, thanks for watching. Have a good one, everybody.